or the VP of membership in their club. Okay, well then I am delighted that we have added to the club growth team over the last month or so, as we have seen that we have great opportunity to grow clubs and existing clubs and new clubs through the tool of Speechcraft. It's actually been around for a while. How many people have used it before? I don't know if we can see too many hands, but okay, some. I knew we did have some. Excellent. Well, I am so delighted to have Yanping Chen as a member of the Club Growth team, and I want to introduce her. Welcome, Yanping, to tell us more about Speechcraft.
Thank you, Christy. Can you help me to move to the next slide? Hey, fellow members. I'm very happy to be here today to share with you some of my experience about Speechcraft. In 2019, I saw a flyer in social media. Texas Dragon is recruiting Speechcrafters. I signed up and finished the program and then joined the club immediately. In 2019, I became the Speechcraft coordinator for the club, and we end up with recruiting 10 new members from this program. This year, I'm helping the Speechcraft coordinator to run this program. So I'm full of passion of Speechcraft, and I'm happy to talk as much as I can, but with time limit, today, I'm going to share with you 3 concepts. The first one is, what is Speechcraft? Why? And then in the end, probably everybody is more interested in is how. Next slide. Speechcraft is nothing different running a normal club meeting. The only difference is we invite the 9 Toastmasters, ask them to prepare a speech and present during the prepared speech session. We also have members to evaluate their speech. Some clubs run this program for 4 weeks, and in our club, Texas Dragon, we always run 8 weeks. It really depends on your club's schedule, commitment, and you can decide the time by yourself. Next slide. Here come to a question, why Speechcraft? As Christy said, Speechcraft is really the #1 to build membership for new club and for existing club. I will show you some statistics later. But here, I also want to mention, Speechcraft is really a win-win program. For participants, they get the opportunity to practice their public speaking, and they can improve their confidence level. For members, as members, we became a member not only because we want to practice public speaking, we also want to be a good leader. For good leader, you need opportunity to practice. During the Speechcraft program, we can serve as a mentor to the Speechcrafters to help them grow. On the other hand, another good opportunity is serve as a Speechcraft coordinator. You will have the opportunity to run the entire program and connecting with all different kinds of people. I assure you, your leadership skills will boost after this program. Next slide. Here's a statistic I like to share with you, coming from Texas Dragon Toastmasters Club as an example. Texas Dragon was founded in 1996. We have Speechcraft program from time to time. Recently, recent years, we have more commitment, so we can ensure the program happen every year since 2013. If you look at all the red bars, those are the number of speeches delivered within the 8 weeks program. And you see the bar is going to be taller and taller. It means that our program is running much smoother than before and having a much higher quality right now. And in terms of new members, here I want to mention, since last year in 2019, I was a coordinator, so I know the number exactly. We have 12 participants. After the program finished, we have 10 people join the program. Isn't that fantastic? We reach a great win among all different parties. We're pretty happy about that. Next.
Hey, Yanping, quick
Yes.
question before I move to the next slide. What is 201 here? The 201, is that some statistic?
That's 213. I think we need to increase the line, not 201.
Oh, okay. Oh,
213,
it's a year.
It's a year.
Okay, got it.
This question.
Okay, thank you. You want me to move to the next slide?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Here
I
I'm
have a
showing,
question here.
yes,
Hey, can you go back to the previous slide?
Yeah.
Is that third week you had 54 speeches? That I'm reading it correctly?
oh, there's some confusion on the numbers. As Becky
Oh, it's
asked,
2013. I got it. Okay. In the whole year, you had 54 speeches.
in 2013, the program ran for 8 weeks. And in these 8 weeks, we have 54 speeches. And these speeches are delivered by 14 participants.
Got it.
Thank you for
Thank you.
thank you for the question. I think it's also a good opportunity to call out the statistic to everyone. Again, like I mentioned, in 2019, which is last year, we have 75 speeches delivered by 12 participants, roughly about 10 or 11 speeches every week. Next slide. Here I'm showing a photo. This lady's name is called June Lam. She is a 2012 speech crafter, and she has won the District 50 Human Speech Champion. And you can tell how much this speech craft has impacted different people to such a good level. Next slide. All right, now we have heard some, what is the speech craft? Why? And we now all have the motivation. We want to run this program. So I'm going to share with you how to run it. And here I want to mention that for each club, you might have different schedule and a different frequency to meet, or maybe different commitment. Here, I'm just showing you as an example in Texas Dragon, how we run the Speechcraft program to make sure the program quality is very good. Then you can take the information to your club and tailor it according to your say number of club members, commitment, schedule, etc. So you don't need to follow the complete procedure as I mentioned here. Running a Speechcraft, to me, I think as a completely big project. I think myself as a project manager. So I'm going to walk this through as a project manager role. To make the program successful, definitely first step, you need to do preparation. There are multiple different things you need to prepare. The very first one is you need to work with your club officer and president to determine the time. The time actually is very important. In our club, our program starts the last week of September and lasts for 8 weeks and finish before Thanksgiving, because we kind of know that people have little travel or vacation plan during those periods, so they can have much commitment. Secondly is you need to buy all the materials from Toastmaster International. I will show you a picture later. The idea is you need to prepare the workbook manual for the speech crafters and the manual for the coordinators. The third part is you need to ask for help. In case you have many speech crafters and you will need many evaluators, so confirm with them their time availability ahead of time will give you much more flexibility when you start to run the program. After all the preparations done, in step 2, recruiting. For recruiting, it really depends on your ego. If you want to recruit a lot of speech crafters from different backgrounds, you probably have to do that very ahead of time. This year, we plan our recruiting 6 or 7 weeks ahead before the program starts. We let the advertising run for a month. We end up with 22 applicants. But we can only, since our club meeting is only 2 hours, we can only afford to allow 12 speakers to speak within that time. So we have to do some screening. So we send out a screening to filter down the candidates. Our criteria actually is very, very simple. Our criteria to select a candidate is whether you can commit your time to this program to prepare your speech. That's the simple question we ask. The people who willing to put more time, we're willing to accept them. Step 3, running the meeting. Running the meeting will be actually the most important part. As a Speechcraft coordinator, I will show you a sample agenda later on. Speechcrafter is coordinator actually is the center to coordinate different speech crafters, advisors, and the evaluators. It's a very, very important role. Step 4, graduation. We want to make sure our speech crafter feels special on that day. So we prepare a lot of refreshment when we were in the physical place. We bought rose, champagne, cake, and we put out a lot of decoration. More especially, I want to call out is we also present 3 awards. On the week 1, we say very clearly to the speech crafters, we're going to present 3 awards to them to motivate the speech crafters to work hard and get as much benefit from this program as they can. You probably think graduation is the last step. No, the answer is no. We have the very last step is follow-up. You always want to do follow-up and lesson learned. So we asked the feedback from the speech crafters, evaluators, mentors, outside evaluators to gather their feedback and build a lesson learned session for ourselves to improve the program. And in addition, we also want to recognize the club achievements and also the speech crafter achievements. We publish the graduation to local newspaper. Last but not least, the most important one, our VP membership talk to each of the individual speech crafters to ask them whether they are interested in. Based on all the flow from here, our program is getting better and better. Next slide. Yeah, here is a picture I want to show you is available information on Toastmaster International. You can buy the Speechcraft Starter Kit. It has all the required materials for your program to start. Next page. This is a sample meeting agenda during Speechcraft program. It's nothing special compared to the normal Toastmaster meeting agenda. The only difference is you can see in the red box, they are the prepared Speechcraft speeches. And in the purple box is our member speech. They're just putting in the same prepared speech session. Next slide. In the evaluation session, similarly, we have the evaluation for the speech crafters and the evaluation for our members. Only special agenda compared to a Toastmaster meeting agenda is the blue box. As a speech craft coordinator, you will need to spend 4 or 5 minutes to explain the assignment to the speech crafter. Say, for example, I'm a speech craft coordinator. I will say, hey, speech crafters, your assignment for next week is going to prepare a speech 3 to 5 minutes about how to use vocal variety. And I will also prepare a mini speech to demo to them how do I use vocal variety by introducing something like page, volume, pause, all the important components for vocal variety. That's a very good opportunity for speechcraft coordinator to practice his or her public speaking too. Next slide.
Hey, Yanping, can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
So did you have a 2-hour meeting for Texas Dragons just for the speech crafters?
2-hour meetings.
Okay, and it's a separate meeting. It's not part of your regular club meetings, right?
It's our regular club meeting.
Oh, it's your regular club meeting?
Yes. So that's why I mentioned it here. You see the red and purple. We put the speech for the speech crafters and also our club members side by side.
Okay. That's why it's a longer club meeting, because some of your members may not want to sit for 2 hours if they're not speech
even
craft.
our normal club meeting, we have 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Next slide. Yeah, this picture is we took on the graduation day of 2013, and you can see the lady standing in the center is a former Toastmaster International President, Pauline Shirley. She also was invited last year for our graduation. I think that's all. Thank you.
I have one question. Thank you so much for the overview. It was great. So you have like everything like a regular session. You have the table topics and everything. I mean, nothing different is what I'm trying to understand.
Yes, nothing different.
It's
Okay.
more that it's a special program for those individuals going through Speechcraft to help them move along in a specific fashion. They're a little bit shorter speeches, right, Yanping? That they're more of 3 to 4 minutes than they are.
Yeah,
They can work up to 4 to 6 and 5 to 7, but
3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5, that's right.
I have a question. Is that the reason why the evaluations are shorter too? Because the speeches are short? On the previous slide, it had the evaluations starting at 1 minute.
The evaluation for the speech crafter should be shorter, but for the normal Toastmaster, for the club speech, it should be the regular time. But
Okay.
we do have to sometimes cut down the table topic session a little bit shorter. For example, we have 12 speeches, so it won't allow us to give a very long table topics.
Okay. So your table topics, is it only 30 seconds or?
For each table topic, right? I couldn't remember. If you can go back to the agenda, take a quick look.
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah, could you go back?
1 to 2 minutes. Table topic with
This one?
Can you mention?
There's one more, right? Here.
Yeah, 1 to 2 minutes. 1 to 2.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so the speechcraft can be conducted is for the people who outside of Toastmaster, or they were willing to join Toastmaster at one point of time, right? So it's directed towards that audience.
Yes, that's exactly.
Okay, so can this be initiated at any point? For example, if I want to do I'm just telling, if one set of group wanted to do this for every quarter for a public, okay? they can continuously do that, right? It need not be part of a Toastmaster club.
I think for that, you probably can tailor it with your club situation. I believe it's okay if you set a specific time, not your club meeting, and you can have your club meeting ongoing and have the separate program. I don't know whether it's written somewhere in the Toastmaster International as a restriction or anything. I need to search, but I don't see any reason why you cannot do that.
You can organize any Speechcraft program at any time.
Right. It's because it's definitely used to grow the clubs. Like Texas Dragon has been very successful, as we saw in Yan Ping's example. And thank you, Grace, for joining us. Grace has been our expert on that for years. We've definitely seen, as you point out, it's not just this year that they had more people apply than they had slots available to accommodate during the meeting, so that people are interested and continue to be interested in that. So in this case, it's growing an existing club. In other cases, we've used it to start a new club where the people from another club are supporting, providing evaluations, being those mentors to help the new members get started, or the potential members. They haven't joined it yet. If they're going through Speechcraft, that they'll be joining the club as it charters, let's say, or at the end of their Speechcraft term.
Texas Dragon was chartered after 4 sessions of Speechcraft. So
the reason I asked that because, you know, while I'm thinking through this, people should not use this as part of their separate business, right? So is there a restriction that Toastmaster has put in saying you have to do it only for a new club starting? Or
No.
Okay.
It's for both. It's for existing clubs too.
Correct. Existing club and new club.
Both.
So, okay, both.
Okay.
Because I've heard about the charge as well, right? As Christy, we were talking about it. What if somebody uses this as their coaching program, using Toastmasters material? Is there a restriction for that?
Well, coaching is different, right? Coaching is the club coach program is different from Speechcraft, but it certainly can help a club grow by bringing on more members. And that may be part of what the club needs, is to be able to add members. And this is a way to attract people, offer them that opportunity to grow in a fairly rapid fashion, essentially a seminar to build your speeches and build your communications.
Okay.
Let's allow some others to ask questions here. I know that some have gone through the chat. Have we answered them in the chat, or what other questions are in the chat that we want to get out? We only have a couple minutes left in our session.
Christy, I want to answer one question here. They're asking about the Speechcraft online environment, about the materials we have talked about. We are actually in a process to get the Speechcraft menu online in District 50 website. Probably will be available in a month. Do you have anything to add, Christy?
We do. We had success with Speechcraft in the JSON Friday Club in June, and they have provided us some materials that I want Yan Ping to look at. And as we are ready, we'll put that out on the website sometime here in October. So more to come to help us all in this online world with Speechcraft tools and things like that. It could be a combination of the workbooks. I saw that in the chat that, you know, you can mail them. The participants can still have their workbook as a reference, even if we're all online working through the manuals.
I could ask a question.
Yeah, we have a few questions coming in, Christy, and somebody's asking, how can we ask follow-up questions because we are running out of time?
We are running out of time. Let's entertain a few more questions. We like to respect everyone's time, just as we would in a club
And we
meeting.
have one last slide left for club coaching.
Exactly. So let's talk a minute about Club Coach, how we'd like to get people signed up. And then I think certainly you can send email questions. Yan Ping's email is speechcraft@d50tm.org. So we can put that in the chat. That should come to her. And then sounds like this could be a good topic for follow-up as well. We very much would like to know. Let's go to the next slide. We realize that this was a full load in today's webinar Wednesday. Deepa, could you tell us a bit about?
And of
team.
course, the
Oh,
Speechcraft
and
folks can all. Oh, can you not hear me?
and
Okay.
let's also say thank you to Yanping for a great presentation,
Thank you.
sharing some exciting things on that program.
I was going to say they can keep responding on chat as well in the meantime.
We can.
Okay, so we have one last slide for Club Coach, and I know I had invited a few folks for that because some people want to know how to become a club coach. Folks are interested in becoming a club coach, but there are a few steps that you need to go through to make sure that you get to where you are assigned by Toastmasters International as a club coach officially. So the first thing is there is a club coach form, and we can follow up, I think, through email because we have this process under D50. And Christy, maybe you can put it in the chat, our website. So we have this link out there, and all these links are active. Because we don't have a whole lot of time, I'm not going into every link, but there is a form. It's a Google form, and that's actually combined with sponsor, mentor, and coach, because with the new DTM requirement, now it's like 2 out of 3 that you need. So it's kind of changing the requirements, but we have a form that includes all of them. But you can review the list of eligible clubs. We have it on the D50 website, and we want to remind folks that you can also go to Toastmasters International and pull up a report of D50 clubs that have 12 or fewer members. Right, Christy? Because those
Correct.
also will give you the list of eligible clubs. Especially, I think, after this renewal period. I don't know if that'll
After
make a
this
difference.
renewal period, I would love to think that every club will be renewed at 75% plus, but realizing that that may not happen, we could have additional clubs that
Yeah.
fit into that criteria of 12 or fewer and
Right.
time to get them a coach.
Yeah. And then as somebody who's interested in club coaching, you can yourself, like you can look at the list and decide which are the clubs that you can coach to success. Because you may have to, of course, right now it's Zoom, but you may have to look at what time they meet, what day they meet, and when they get back to meeting in person, is it close enough for you to be able to go in person? Because hopefully, before the end of this Toastmaster year, we should be able to go back in person, fingers crossed. So we cannot assume that it's always going to be online, but for now, at least you're good if you can go online at least. Then you need to talk to the club officers, mostly the president or the vice president of education, about coaching that club and reach a mutual agreement. By that, what we mean is you need to agree that you're going to coach the club. The club needs to agree that they need you as a coach, because you won't be effective if the club is not agreeable, to have you as a coach. So that's why we want to hear from both parties. And then once you have that, you can email us. This club coach at d50tm.org will come to Susie and myself, the club coach chairs, and please provide us your information, like your member number, your club information, and the club that you want to coach. If you can send us all that information, the club officer can also, there is also a form out there on our club growth page that they can fill out the form, or they can email us as well saying that, okay, I want this person as the coach for my club. So that we get it from both parties, and then we can, Christy, CGD is our club growth director, Christy, she'll go ahead and make a request to the world headquarters or the Toastmasters International to make that assignment official. And then once you do that, we have some links. There's lots of guides, expectations. We have a webinar that we had conducted on Labor Day weekend by Carol Prahinsky, right? Carol Prahinsky, our past international region director. And it's a very good webinar, and we would encourage everybody to watch it if you have not watched it so far or attended her session. And there's 2 things that I want to just point out. There is a special incentive. It's buy one, get one offer for this year. If you successfully complete a club coach appointment by June 30th, 2021. So you still have a few months left. If successful completion means you have to bring that club to distinguished status. So mostly it's like membership issues. So you have to make sure you add the 5 new members from base or the 20 members. So they become distinguished. You get 2 credits. One as the club coach requirement for your DTM, and second as the district service for 1 year. That means you don't have to do a area director or a division director, any of those roles for a year. You get both credits towards your DTM. So that's really a great deal if you are able to make that work. And then another reminder is you need to be officially appointed as a coach for that club before you join them as a member. So do not join them as a member, the club that you're thinking of coaching, until you get an email from Toastmasters International saying that you've been assigned as a coach. And then you can go ahead and join if you like. I don't think there's any, it's not a requirement to join, but many club coaches end up joining because they're helping with the membership as well. So any questions on club coaching? I see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yeah.
So Deepa, what if the club coach is not able to meet the needs or requirements, like within a year, if the club coach cannot increase the membership, what will it be considered as they served as a club coach, or it will not help for the DTM?
Oh, they get 1 more year after that, Jaya. So you get 2 years to make that club distinguished. Christy and Susie, if you want to add anything.
That's correct. You would only get the year of district service if you successfully complete the club coach assignment this year. So by June 30th, 2021, that the club is distinguished, has enough members, enough education awards, all that goes into the DCP, Distinguished Club Plan goals. They've hit the 5 of 10, at least 5 of 10 goals. And if you haven't, you can continue to coach them. You'd get the club coach credit next year, but you would not receive a year of service for those that are caring about that. Obviously, our goal in coaching a club is to help them grow and be distinguished. That's important as a club coach.
Do you have any other questions on club coaching? I believe there were a few folks who were interested in club coach that we have invited today.
Yes, a quick one, Deepa.
Yeah.
On the D50 website, there is a submission form that you can select to be a club coach or a few more roles. Where does it go? I submit, but I didn't get any response back.
You have submitted on the Google Forms where it says club sponsor, mentor, or coach?
That's correct.
Okay. What we do is, because it's a Google form, I work with Christy and Susie and Yvonne, who's our mentor sponsor chair, and we kind of pull that information once a week and we consolidate it. So tomorrow we have one of those coordination, and Jan, I have noted down your name. I'll take a look at it. Okay.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure. No problem. Any other questions? Okay.
Since it's
club coach?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Say again, Sharon?
I said, what are the requirements for being
requirements for being a club coach? The requirements, the minimum requirements is that you are in good standing, meaning you paid your dues, right? That you are a Toastmaster. In reality is we want someone with experience so that you are able to help that club. You know the ropes of what a quality club meeting looks like, how to help the club officers with their roles, and just the personal relationship skills to help work with them, because it's not, one of the best things about this Carol Perhinsky session is it's called the magic of becoming a club coach.
Exceptional
it's not
club coach.
Exceptional, that's right. Thank you, Deepa. But it's not just like, I waved my magic wand and now the club is fixed and everybody's happy and their members are just flocking to there. It's a relationship building, determining with them, because every club is different. What is it this club needs? How can you help them? That's why it's so important to get those club coaches working with clubs now, while we're still early in the year, be able to help them with the growth, because we want every club to grow, and that many times a club needs to grow by 5 members. It's certainly up 5 or maintain 20 if that's where they are, in order to be a distinguished club, as well as the education training awards. Well, since it is past 8, it is time for us to allow some of you to go off and enjoy the rest of your evening. We can hang around for a couple more minutes. I think you should see in the chat the Speechcraft at d50tm.org is
and the
email that.
Feedback form as well. I have sent
And the
that.
feedback form, yes, we would really appreciate feedback. We would really like to know what you'd like to hear next, because I think we have some great information to share. We realize that this was a smorgasbord of several topics, but feel like they're all extremely important. We would really love to have open houses coming out like crazy, that Brandy is asked by so many clubs that her email is overflowing with help requests, or better yet, the fact that you've had a successful open house. Speechcraft is a great opportunity. We've seen some definite successes and opportunities for that to work for District 50 even further. We do need club coaches. We need club mentors to help new clubs. So please help us. If you're a DTM or been done something where you're a level 4 and 5, somebody's helped you get to where you are today. Help that next club. Pay it forward, make them successful, help them be successful too. So thank you for coming. I appreciate everyone being here. Realize that we probably haven't had enough time for enough questions. Give us that feedback so we can make the next sessions
And
even
I was
more
going to say
effective.
that people can open the Google form, and then you can always give feedback after the session also, as long as you have the link up on your screen.
Among the many links in there, I dropped a link to contact any member of the Club Growth team as well. It takes you right to the Club Growth team
Oh,
on
very
our
good.
webpage.
On the webpage, right. And you can always send something when in doubt to CGD, Club Growth Director at d50tm.org, and I can route it to the right part of our team if you aren't sure which member is the right one. We definitely want, that's our role, is help our clubs be successful to grow. And you'll see here on this last slide too, the generic emails for us.
Yeah. And Christy, this one slide we haven't talked about. Did you
Oh
want to
yeah,
talk about
this last slide is just to highlight, we have, if you haven't looked lately, go check out d50tm.org, the website, but don't just go to the homepage, go to the Club Growth page. The information that Thomas has loaded, things that Brandy just showed you with the open house, things that Deepa showed you with the club coach, the list to get you to the list of clubs. Now that can vary every day as clubs pay or changes happen October 1st. So it's important to look at the dashboard too, but there is a wealth of information. That's the reason we put it there, is to help our club members and clubs find that information easily. So thank you, everyone.